Vijay, on his way out, I think it was either Jake Sullivan or Anthony Blinken mentioned that they view the policy um, of Israel towards Gaza and their entire Gaza policy as a positive. And I think in his final sentence said that they're still optimistic that the Saudi deal between Saudi Arabia and Israel will still happen, which I think the reason, even the talk of this deal, was probably the reason for the Hamas attack on October 7th. Can you talk about what the Saudi position is now, since they historically have been the defenders of Palestine?
Well, firstly, Saudi Arabia is going through a lot of changes under Prince Mohammed bin Salman. When he first came to office, he basically cut out the deal within the country of sharing power across all the Al Saud cousins and family members. The Soderi Seven and their descendants had shared power, and he basically cut people out, bought them out, threw them out, and centralized power around himself. Secondly, he invited many of them, but also other rich Saudis to a hotel. It was an invitation, like a mafia invitation. They were all put into hotel rooms, including a man for whom I used to work, who used to own Twitter, as it turns out, and they put them into different hotel rooms in this hotel, and he basically browbeat them and said, you have to invest your money in Saudi Arabia. You can't hold it all in London and in New York and so on. And he forced them to put their money into Saudi 2030, a plan that McKinsey wrote for him. It was a big document. You can download it online, to build new cities and so on in Saudi Arabia, to pivot away from reliance on oil, fossil fuels. So he is a very ambitious guy. After his failed war against Yemen, he's sort of calmed that down, at a point, accepted the Chinese invitation to talk to the Iranians, understood that the future of the world economy was in Asia and not in the Atlantic world, began to pivot away from the United States. It's a very interesting set of developments taking place in Saudi Arabia. Well, then the United States, feeling anxious that Saudi Arabia, went to Beijing to sit with the Iranians, there was a handshake agreement and so on. The United States at the G20 meeting in Delhi had a side meeting and made an announcement for an India, Middle East, Europe corridor.